Often it happens that when we start doing the production, we realize that we have produced some defective material. Sometimes it is possible to control that within the organization, but at times it happens that it goes to the customer. And at that time, we realize that maybe it is just one process parameter which was wrong, maybe just one raw material that was wrong, maybe one machine setting that was wrong, and it created thousands of defective material. And that's why the role of job setup as well as the first person inspection comes into picture. When we talk with respect to job setup, the intention is that how we can make sure that everything is right before starting the production. And when we talk about first be inspection, it ensures that whatever product that we have now made, whether it is going to fulfill the customer requirement or not. Now let's think about a home where a mother is thinking about cooking something. So initially what she is doing, she just sees that whether all the raw material, everything is there with her or not. And once she cooks everything, then she checks the taste, whether everything is okay or not, and only then she serves. Something similar happened with respect to job setup and the first be inspection, where our idea is that we are making sure that whatever we are planning, it is correct, and then whatever is the output, that is also correct, which is going to the customer. Now, when we see from the customer perspective, what the customer is looking for, customer is looking for that I should get the right quantity, right quality, right product, and the most important thing is they should get at a competitive price. Customer is not bothered that what is happening in our organization. They are only bothered that what is the output that they are getting, whether it is fulfilling their requirement or not. And that's why job setup and the first inspection becomes a very critical and very important. Although both are interrelated with each other, but still there are some distinct differences between them. So let me share something with respect to that. When we talk about job setup, the key purpose is to prepare the process. When we talk about first piece inspection, we are talking about how we can verify that particular output. The key question in job setup is that are we ready to produce? And when we talk about first piece inspection, did we produce it correctly? The key focus when we talk about job setup is that whether the process is ready or not. While when we talk about first piece inspection, it is primarily the focus is with respect to product conformity. Similarly, when we talk about the timing, it is before the production, but when we talk about first piece inspection, we are talking about before the production is released for the next stage, whether it is fulfilling or not. In a way, when we talk about job setup, we are talking about are we ready to produce? When we talk about first piece inspection, we ask did we produce the right part correctly? And here the role of 4M, and often we talk about 6M also, men, machine, material and method. They play a very, very important role, because if the man or the operator is not competent, qualified, then there can be a problem. When we talk about machine, whether we have chosen the right machine which has been approved, whether we have the right fixtures, gauges, then otherwise it can be a problem. Then the third is with respect to the method, that whatever work instructions are there, control plan is there, the way in which we have to do, whether we are having the right thing or not. And then fourth is with respect to the material. Whatever material which has been approved by the organization or by the customer, are we using that, or maybe we are using some substitute. So all those things create some issues. Often it is seen in the organization that 4M change or 4M sheet becomes just sort of a paperwork where we just stick something there and we think that the work is done. But the idea is not to fill that 4M sheet. The idea is to see that whether we are fulfilling the expectation which can give the desired result or not. Only then we can say that yes, everything is right or wrong. Now if you take an example, say with respect to, assume that this is a rod and we are doing some CNC machining on this. So with respect to job setup, what can be the key parameters? It can be with respect to that whether we are choosing the right CNC machine or not, whether the right program has been selected, whether we have the right gauges, fixtures, measuring instruments for that, and there can be many other things also. Now when we talk about first piece inspection, then all those special characteristics, it can be with respect to the ovality, surface finish, diameter, or it can be anything, that whether it is meeting the requirement of the customer or not. And once we are taking care with respect to that, then we can say that yes, whatever output that is going to be there, it is going to fulfill to the customer requirement. So that is very, very important to say. So in a way, when we are talking with respect to the right setup, We are saying that the 4M is okay, then we are talking job setup is okay, then we are talking first pre-inspection is okay, and then the subsequent processes are okay. On the other side, when we think that job setup is not correct and the first pre-inspection is not correct, there is a possibility that the defect can go to the last process. If you can catch up there, then all the rejections are within the organization, but in case it filters to the customer, then there can be also a rejection which is coming from the customer and also, and then it can create much more problem to manage and to see that what can be done. There can be various performance indicators to see that whether the job setup and the first pre-inspection are effective or not. So when we talk about job setup, so the key indicators can be about job setup change over time, repeat setup errors. It can be with respect to setup related downtime or the setup related defects. While we're talking about first pre-inspection, it can be first pre approval rate, first pre-inspection rate, and something similar with respect to that. If you see from the management perspective, management is not interested whether the first pre-inspection checklist is filled or not filled. For them, the most important thing is that whether the system is effective, which can prevent the setup related defects from initiating to the customer or maybe to the next process. Often when we talk about job setup and first pre-inspection, there are many challenges that industry is facing. Let me share 4 key challenges. The first is with respect to the rushed changeover. The people are so much of pressure with respect to job setup that often we don't see each and everything, and then there is a possibility that in the next process we get the rejected cases. The second is with respect to the competence of operator. There is so much of variation in the competence of operator that some operator do a wonderful job while some other do a substandard job, and that again results in the rejection. The third is with respect to the standardization. There is no standardization in many companies. So some people follow A process, some B and some C. And that's why the output is also varying. And the fourth and the most important thing is with respect to the paperwork activity, that in majority of the cases, somehow it is becoming that when we talk about job setup and first pre-inspection, it's more of a documentation that we need to do. So often you can see that maybe end of the shift, a person is filling all the documents as if it is helping the organization in any way, or maybe sometime in a month, on one day they fill everything. Maybe they want to fulfill the expectation of the supervisor, maybe management, or it could be the auditors also. We can also measure when we talk about job setup and first pre-inspection in terms of PQCDSM: productivity, quality, cost, delivery, safety and morale. Once we put them and bifurcate them into this, it very easily and very clearly gives a clear picture that where the organization stands with respect to job setup and the first pre-inspection effectiveness. We can look into that. And certainly when systematically everything is being taken care, everything becomes meaningful and the output is predictable. So overall, if I say when we talk about job setup, it is not only about preparing a machine, it is about preparing the process to succeed. While we talk about the first pre-inspection, it is not just measuring the first part. It is also about confirming that the process actually delivered the right or the expected result. Because job setup protects the productivity, first pre-inspection protects the quality, and together they protect the business. And the bottom line is right setup, right first part, and the right production. My next video will again be with respect to 2 interesting concepts about the difference. Regularly I'm getting a lot of feedback from your side and they are helping me to understand your expectations. So please do continue that. In case you want to know a little bit more about this particular video, you'll find a link below. If you click that, you'll find a blog there. There you find this information in much more detail. And in case you're liking these kind of blogs and videos, you can always share with your friends and colleagues, and you can subscribe to my YouTube channel and my website bhavyamangla.com. Very recently I published a book with respect to supply chain management. In case you want to know a little bit more about it, you can find some details below in that link, and there you can find more information. Thank you.